sexuality educator. In a recent video on, I think it was sexual pleasure, I said this. I want to say something quickly about porn. Now, at some point in the future, I will do a video on it. That's what this is. It is a video about porn. This one specifically is about how you can talk to your kids about porn. Different people have different ideas about what porn is and isn't. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to say that pornography is content that is sexually explicit and that is specifically designed to sexually arouse an audience. Porn is a really big topic. It's a very controversial topic. I can't even begin to cover all of it in one video. So today, what I want to talk about specifically is kids looking at porn online and how we can talk to them about that as their adult family members. If you're like me and you find this issue a little bit challenging, or you're not exactly sure what to say to your kids about it, I think there are a lot of reasons that that's true, but I wanted to touch on a couple. First of all, there's a lot of conflicting information about pornography and how it might affect our kids. Some sources will tell us that pornography can be addictive, and then other sources are adamant that no, it is not. Some research shows a correlation between watching pornography and holding misogynistic attitudes, but there is other research that shows that people who believe in gender equality don't generally have those beliefs changed by watching pornography. Something else that may make this conversation a little bit difficult is the fact that online pornography is a relatively new phenomenon. That doesn't mean that kids and teens being interested in pornography is new. When I say that online porn is a new phenomenon, what I mean is that kids today just have unprecedented access to an unprecedented amount of pornography. And I think what makes that especially different for this generation of parents and caregivers is that our kids are having an experience and have the type of access that most of us didn't have growing up. So we can't really relate to it. We can't sort of say, oh yeah, I remember doing that when I was a kid, but I sorted it out and it was okay. We don't really have that frame of reference, so that it can make everything seem that much more fraught and intense and a little bit scary. All of this to say that if you're a parent or a caregiver who's a little bit freaked out by this whole issue, that's really understandable. But the good news is that there are things that we as adults can do to help our kids navigate everything that's happening online in terms of porn. I think one of the best things that we can do is communicate with our kids, talk to them, educate them, have these conversations. If you want to start a conversation with your tween or teen about online porn, here are some conversation starting questions. As always, you certainly don't have to ask them all of these. You can just pick one or two. And remember that you can always put your own spin on these so they make sense for you and your family. Do you know what pornography is? Why do you think some people like looking at pornography? Do you think the sex in pornography is like having sex in real life? How do you think it's the same? How do you think it might be different? Talking about porn is also a great time to use the values facts framework. I have a whole video on that. I will link to it. There'll be an I probably up here. Just click the I and you can see that video. I'm going to give an example using my own values and knowledge. Again, your values around pornography may be different from mine, so you would tailor this to suit your own beliefs. Also, because my kid is not here, and this is just an example, this is going to be more of a monologue than I would ideally want to have if my kid was actually here. Listen, I want to talk to you about porn. I think it's really normal and understandable if you're curious about sex, if you want to know how it works, or even if you want to know what it looks like. But I don't think that porn is an appropriate way for you to learn about any of that right now, and I really don't want you looking at it. First of all, porn isn't meant for kids or young people. I mean, legally you have to be over 18 to watch it, but it's also just not really designed to teach you about sex in real life. Think about a car chase movie. Now, the people who make car chase movies make them because they want us to get really excited. And so they'll have, this beautiful, exciting looking car, and it'll be driving through the streets super fast, and you know, there are crashes and there are explosions and there are loud noises and there are situations where we don't really know what's going to happen, but then they get out of them and we watch it, and it's just designed to be fun and really exciting. But if you had that same experience in real life, it would probably be pretty different. Porn is kind of the same idea. People are making something to try and get us excited in a sexual way. And so they'll show us things that we might not experience in real life or might not like so much in real life. They'll show people having sex in ways that might look interesting on a screen, but don't necessarily feel good for everybody. And when I say don't feel good, it might not feel good physically, but it also might not feel good emotionally for you or the person that you wind up having sex with. Now, sometimes I will let you watch a movie or a TV show with a car chase scene, but that's because you have a lot of experience with cars and driving in real life. You've ridden in cars all your life. You see cars driving on the road all day. So you're old enough and you have enough experience to understand the difference between a car chase scene in a movie and driving in real life. You don't have that with sex yet. Right now, you're not old enough to really understand the difference, which is why I really don't want you learning about sex from pornography. That's an example of how I might talk to my own kid using a mix of my own values around pornography and some facts. One last note, people will often ask me about blocking access, like using some sort of software to restrict access to porn sites. I think that's something that definitely can be helpful and that sometimes families will use. I think it can be particularly helpful in cases where kids aren't deliberately seeking out porn, but they stumble across it by accident because they're searching for something else. That having been said, I do not think on any level that blocking or restricting access is a fail-safe solution. A lot of kids are very tech savvy and they know workarounds, and even if they can't access it on a home computer or on their own device, as soon as they're out in the world, they have access to other people's devices, and basically there's no way to guarantee that youth are not going to be able to see pornography if that's something that they're trying to do. And so I think, yes, absolutely, if blocking is something that you want to do and you feel will be helpful, go ahead and do it. But I don't think it replaces the benefits of also having these conversations with kids. In the comments below, let me know if you've had a conversation with your kid about online pornography or anything else where you maybe felt a little nervous about it, but you went ahead and you had that conversation anyway. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to find out more about my sex ed coaching and workshops, you can head on over to my website, NadineThornhill.com. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye. I want to talk today about sex is a funny word because this is, like, hands down my favorite book for kids about sex to date.